Hello everyone. Now, if you're someone who's just starting off with your preparation, or you've been going through the rounds, you've been doing your preparation from a really long time, but if you're still not getting that required accuracy in verbal ability, especially let's say odd one out, I always tell my students that it's time to go back to the drawing board. Yes, it's very important to first know the concepts, है ना? जैसे सपोज क्वांट का कोई टॉपिक होता है तो आप पहले फॉर्मूला देखते हो, पहले थ्योरी जानते हो, पहले मतलब उस टॉपिक को समझते हो, फिर आप प्रैक्टिस पे जाते हो. द सेम आई वांट यू टू डू फॉर वर्बल एबिलिटी एज वेल. आई डोंट वांट यू टू जस्ट स्टार्ट ऑफ प्रैक्टिसिंग इट जस्ट थिंकिंग इट्स इंग्लिश आफ्टर ऑल एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. No, there are concepts, there are techniques, there are methods which I want all my students to know. So guys, that's why this all concept series that I'm doing, तो उसमें आपने देखा होगा I took you through para-jumble concepts, and today I'm going to talk to you about odd one out concepts. Okay, so sentence odd one out question, guys, 2 to 3 questions easily you can expect from this particular topic in the examination. One thing we have to remember is this comes under the theta type. So type in the answer, non-MCQ. इसमें एक चीज़ अच्छी है कि स्ट्रैटेजी में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. इफ इट वाज एमसीक्यू यू वुड हैव जस्ट क्लिक्ड ऑन द रेडियो बटन ऑफ द ऑप्शन, एंड इफ इट्स नॉन एमसीक्यू यू विल जस्ट टाइप द आंसर, the number of the sentence which you feel is the odd one out. So technique में कोई फर्क नहीं है. The difference is, the good point is that if you get it wrong, there's no negative marking, right? So it's a question that you should attempt because it's coding, it's pretty doable, and it's something which just because it's under the theta, मतलब para-jumble can create a little bit of a problem because it's under theta, but this will not. So it's an easy area. So let's understand odd one out. Now, a lot of students say, ma'am, we are not able to figure out the odd one out. I ask them, what is your process of solving this question type? So they tell me, we read the statements and then we try to think of or figure out a statement which is looking irrelevant, जो टॉपिक से मैच नहीं हो रहा है या जिसमें कीवर्ड्स मैच नहीं हो रहे हैं. We try and look for a statement which is irrelevant. I tell them this is the wrong strategy and that is why you're not getting the accuracy. So guys, पहले जो odd one out questions आते थे CAT एग्जाम में, they were apples and oranges. मतलब 4 statements apples के बारे में, 1 statement oranges के बारे में, you could have easily picked the odd one out. Typically easier because one statement would look irrelevant or out of context, or the theme would be different. But then CAT became smart. The paper setters became smart and they complicated this area a little, and now you cannot just answer this area just by looking at the statements or just figuring out the keywords. No, you have to use the para-jumble approach. Don't get scared. You don't have to get the full order right, but you have to build subsets. Yes, आपको subsets बनाने पड़ेंगे या mandatory pairs बनाने पड़ेंगे. Then, while trying to kind of figure out the order, you will be able to reach or arrive at the odd one out. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. Okay, let me explain this a little more in detail. So there are 8 ways or 8 bases of odd one out. Okay, now to understand this, first let's understand how this question is framed. So what they do is they will take one article, है ना, उसका एक पैरा उठाएंगे. So now one more thing, it's not necessary that they pick the first para of the article. It could be the first para, it could be the it could be the last para, it could be the middle para. So it could be any paragraph that they take from the article. ठीक है, तो सपोज एक पैराग्राफ लिया आर्टिकल से, उसके 4 स्टेटमेंट्स आपको बना के दे दिए. Now these 4 statements are part of the same paragraph. Now they need to insert that odd one out. So this is important. Either they will take another article somewhat related. Suppose ये आर्टिकल ग्लोबल वार्मिंग पे था, तो एक और आर्टिकल ढूंढेंगे ग्लोबल वार्मिंग पर और उससे आपको एक सेंटेंस उठा के दे देंगे. ठीक है, सो कोई दूसरे आर्टिकल से, फ्रॉम एन अदर आर्टिकल, यू विल गेट वन स्टेटमेंट. कीवर्ड सेम हो सकते हैं, कीवर्ड्स रिलेटेड हो सकते हैं, और फ्रॉम द सेम आर्टिकल अ डिफरेंट पैरा का कोई दूसरा लाइन भी उठा के दे सकते हैं. सो द ऑड वन आउट कुड बी फ्रॉम अ डिफरेंट आर्टिकल or it could be from the same article. Now, if it's from a different article, it becomes a little easier. Why? Because different article होगा guys, तो theme अलग हो सकता है. For example, बाकी 4 sentences which are taken from this article may be talking about the causes of global warming. that one statement might be talking about the future, like when global warming started, or let's say Donald Trump's views on global warming, something irrelevant, something which is inconsistent with the theme of the passage. Okay, all the other four statements are talking about, let's say, the causes or the effects or the solution, or they're talking about, let's say, XYZ key life history. That one statement could be talking about like one specific incident in his life, or it could be inconsistent with the theme. Also, or maybe it could be contradicting the other statements. Okay, let's say all the other statements are talking about how global warming is such a serious problem, whereas that statement might be saying, अरे हल्के में लेते हैं चलो, and without even using transition words like however, yet, though, in spite, despite. So it might contradict the other statements. और उसका language inconsistent हो सकता है because it's taken from another article, it's written by a different author. So the tone, the language, the style of writing might be different. But if it's taken from the same article, then the problem comes in. क्योंकि लिखा हुआ सेम ऑथर का है, थीम भी more or less में भी related होगा, language writing का भी more or less related होगा. So guys, that's why I always tell you, please make sure to build an order. पहले, while solving this question, treat all the statements like they are part of the same article, same para, like how you would treat it like a PJ. ठीक है, first treat all the statements like ठीक है, ये मेरे को एक PJ मिला है, मुझे इसको solve करना है. All the statements are part of the same para, let me solve it. फिर जब when you start making pairs, then you will see that there's this one statement जो independent है, जो किसी के साथ subset में नहीं जुड़ रहा है. Yeah, it's not necessary that the statement has to be there, it's least contribution, it's not giving some important point, or it's not something which is dependent on the other statements. ठीक है, मुझे लगता है 3, 5 तो साथ में होना ही चाहिए, 1, 2 तो साथ में होना ही चाहिए. Then this 4 कहाँ लगाए, odd one out में डाल दो. Okay, so you have to build mandatory pairs, build subsets, and then a statement which stands out, which is not necessary, which is dispensable, which is not fitting in anywhere, which is inconsistent with the theme, or it's contradicting the other statements of the passage. और वो भी नहीं हो रहा है, पूरा ऑर्डर बन गया आपका, तो फिर you can either take out the last one out or first one out, depending upon which one is least important. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल को एक प्रोवर्ब दिया है ओपनिंग सेंटेंस में, और बाकी के स्टेटमेंट्स आपने अरेंज कर दिए. अब आपको लग रहा है कि अच्छा इस प्रोवर्ब के ना भी काम चला सकते हैं, बट बाकी स्टेटमेंट्स वी आर नॉट एबल टू टेक आउट बिकॉज दे आर कोरिलेटेड, देन दैट कुड बी अ फर्स्ट वन आउट. दिस इज रेयर यूजुअली, and there was this one particular examination जहाँ पे जितने भी odd ones outs आए थे, they were last one outs. So the students had to arrange them in the order, and then that independent statement, the least contribution वाला statement, और कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा तो last one out, that is your odd one out. Okay, so next time in the examination, in your mocks, for your preparation, I want you to try the strategy out. I don't want you to just look at apples and oranges and just look at the keywords. No, that's misleading. They're not going to make it that simple for you. Okay, what you have to do is treat all the statements like they are part of the same paragraph, like it's a para jumble question. Start building an order, start building subsets. Opener वगैरह एक बार थोड़ा छोड़ दो, subsets ही बनाना start कर दो. Okay, same pronoun nouns के links के basis पे, जितने भी language clues मैंने discuss किए हैं para jumble के video में, you can go and watch the video. I've discussed all the important language clues and the logical clues. So उनको लेके order बनाना start कर दो. Whichever statement is inconsistent, contradictory, is not fitting in, looks like, you know, the theme is a little different, like all the other statements are talking about, let's say, solutions. This statement is talking about some person's opinion, some effect, not consistent with the theme. Keep that as your odd one out. And many a times, you can figure out the odd one out on the basis of language. For instance, एक sentence है, let's say, which says, these measures. Okay, always guys, please start linking these measures. Then search for a sentence, कहाँ पे ये measures mentioned है. Measures mentioned है, अच्छा, link कर दो एक साथ, pair बन गया. Many a times it happens, and I've told my students, don't you see the statement which says these measures, where are the measures given? Then they'll search, ma'am, measures plural, हमको नहीं दिख रहा कहाँ, where in this paragraph measures, where have they given? They've not mentioned. Then this is your odd one out, क्योंकि इसका कोई dependency नहीं मिल रहा है para में. बट ये सब आपको तब फिगर आउट होगा ना when you try to build an order. Just by looking at it, you will not be able to notice these subtle language clues, which are such a obvious giveaway for your odd one out. Okay, so that's why build that order, connect those nouns and pronouns, connect those transition words. But yet, however, just say you solve a para-jumble question, and then you don't have to get the like final beautiful order. You'll in through that journey itself, you'll figure out कि okay, ये statement थोड़ा सा अलग लिख रहा है, इसका मुझे link नहीं मिल रहा है, तो maybe ये कोई दूसरे para से उठाया होगा. Then you will figure out your odd one out. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. Please like, share and subscribe. Guys, जल्दी से join करो batches. Selection reward program भी है हमारे batch के students के लिए, हमारे paid batches के students के लिए, for valid for Black Key colleges. You can win rewards up to 1 lakh rupees. Yes. So जल्दी से courses में enroll करो. Crash courses start हो चुके हैं और maths के लिए batches start हो रहे हैं. So जल्दी से enroll करो. All you have to do is apply the coupon code CORE and call up this number if you have any further queries. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you in the live class.